guys, welcome back to my channel for an all-new episode recap of today's dates of our lives, February 18, 2025. So it seems as if there's a third Valentine's Day episode, because at this point Valentine's Day can't over in Salem. I'm like waiting for it to be over. I mean, come on now, it is Tuesday, right? So anyways, we're going to Holly and Tate thing, right? So remember, Doug was there earlier and it was a little bit awkward. Doug was telling Holly how he truly feels before Tate interrupted and, he had to leave. So Tate and Holly, get acquainted after he told her what happened with Johnny Chanel trying to adopt their baby. So they started to focus more on themselves, and they had, this quote-unquote romantic dinner. He fed her some spaghetti bolognese, but I guess it's romantic. But anyways, they enjoyed it, and he was talking about dessert, and she said, you know what, let's skip dessert and get to the bedroom. So they actually went to the bedroom. I was really surprised because I thought that there was going to be another interruption from Sophia, or they wasn't going to go through with it, for some other reason. So Tate asked her if she's okay, she wants to go through with it, and she said yes, she's on the pill and all that. Not that we really need to know that information, but anyways, they did the deed finally. So they're happy that they did it, and that, even though they waited that long to do it and all other factors involved, they're just glad it happened. So Tate asked her about Doug, and he feels as if Doug has feelings for her, and she said, no, nothing like that. Doug and I are just friends, nothing more, right? Let's just focus on us. So that's all it was to it, them enjoying their time together, and that's that. So speaking of Doug is thinking about the whole thing at the cabin where he's telling Holly his true feelings, and then JJ comes in, right? So JJ is asking him what he's reading there, and he tells him that, he had to go to the Horton cabin to retrieve a book that Doug wrote that was full of poems for Julie. So he said, how was it up there? Was it scary? So I said, not really, but I did end up running into Holly. So he's like, Holly's up there. What's she doing up there? She just hanging out. So he said, no, actually crashed into their plans for Valentine's Day for her and Tate. And, I kind of make it awkward because I actually go tell her my feelings for her. And, I know I can't do nothing about it because she's in a relationship with Tate, and I respect that. And, I just don't know what to do about the feelings. So JJ says, you can always talk to me about that. That's the best thing you can do at the moment. And, just move forward, and then they start talking about him, and he said, Doug said that, he's actually not, he actually thought he was going to be different, but he likes that, JJ's understanding. So JJ was wondering why he felt that way about him, and he said, because when I first came here, you guys were suspicious of me. And JJ said it was because of my mom. Like, we all were suspicious of you because you were in jail at some point, and we thought you were the one who took the necklace. But talking to you and seeing how you are with Julie, I have no reason but to believe that you're a good guy and you wouldn't do such a thing. So of course, Doug is feeling guilty about that all. At this point, JJ gets a call from Gabby saying to link up at her house, for a nightcap or to drink. So he said that, yeah, he's on his way. So at this point, Doug is romanticizing how, it would have turned out alternately if, Holly did, receive his feelings and she, reciprocated back. And, he was just trying to make it all romantic and, hope that it would have been that way. So Gabby is also thinking about JJ, and, that was early before she actually called him to come over to her place. So Jada comes out with her suitcase and said that, this is the last of her thing. She's moving up because she can't really stay there because of what happened with her career and, with Rafe and all of that. So, surprisingly, Gabby is on Jada's side, and I like that because sometimes the in-laws, they really don't take the other person's side. They're always on the side of their relative, and I really like that she is not biased, right? That's the only little thing I can say I like about this Gabby, right? So she said, no matter what, I'm on your side. I support you in any way, and, regardless of what happened, it's Rafe's loss. I mean, you do deserve the best. You deserve to be happy, and Jada really appreciates that. And so the topic started to talk about JJ, and she said, how are things going with you guys? And she said that, it's going. It's just that he's been busy with his new job, and we haven't really gotten to see each other. So at some point, a person comes to deliver, a beautiful bouquet of flowers, because again, it's still Valentine's Day for the third day in a row in Salem. So she, sees the notice from JJ, they're appreciating how beautiful it is. And Jada said, I really hope that you guys have a wonderful Valentine's Day evening together. And, Gabby feels bad, and Gabby's, trying to, asked her to come and stay, chill, three of them. And Jada said, no, you deserve to enjoy that night alone, just the two of you. And I'm saying, like, don't try to make Jada be the third wheeler. You're trying to be nice, but she's just gonna look as a third wheeler, and that's not really good considering, she just ended her relationship with her fiance and all of that, right? But I know Gabby means well in the aspect right now. But anyways, JJ comes over and Gabby thanks him for the flowers, and they're both there to appreciate it. And he also was telling her how she smelled nice. He was picking up this coconut smell from her, and she said it was this new scent or fragrance that they're working on at Gabby Chic, and they were trying them out. So anyways, JJ says to her that, I know I've been busy, but it doesn't mean that I am not interested in you and that my feelings are not valid for you. So she understands and all that. So they're making plans for tonight, and whether or not they're gonna go out or order in and watch a movie, or just get straight to business. So that's what they're really into right now. So a very unlikely pairing. So Belle is at the bar, and fake Rafe comes over, and they start talking about Jada, and Belle is saying how Rafe backstabbed her, him being her fiance and all that. So he said, you shouldn't talk about backstabbing because you backstabbed EJ too. You took his job. So she said, I didn't take his job. Jada and Paulina recommended me to become DA. Like, I didn't just go and steal in his job. So he begs to differ, and he said that Jada was behind that, and just to find out that Jada was involved in some shady stuff at the work. So Belle doesn't believe that, and Belle said there's more to it and there's something else going on. So Rafe is saying there's nothing going on. It's just it's just factual that Jada is a dirty cop. And Belle doesn't believe that. Belle thinks she's hardworking, honest, and a good friend and all that. So Rafe is saying it is what it is. Like, Jada got caught out, and she's out of the work now. So he did tell her that he's sorry about what happened to Sean and them divorcing, and he's she says thanks. So she did mention a time when Sean became commissioner, and Jada really was interested in the job at the time years ago. And he said, how did she take it? So he said that she was disappointed. So he said, oh, that proves my point. But anyways, he did later on, after he said he was sorry about Belle and Sean divorcing, he said to her that I know it must suck to be alone on Valentine's Day, the most romantic day of the year, and you don't have to be alone. So he was coming on to her and he kissed her. So Belle was saying, like, what is this? Like, listen, it's only going to be professional, whether in office or out of office. Like, I don't want any parts of this. So she just leaves and said, like, what is really going on with him, right? So I don't know, like, Arnold just makes Rafe look very sleazy and just really a misogynistic pig. That's to be putting it mildly. So Paulina and Abe are having a nice romantic dinner, and she is telling him how she's happy that Chanel moved out of her place. I would be happy too, but Chanel moves out of her place and she's back with Johnny where she belongs, and that they're working on their marriage. So she sees that Abe is distracted, he's sad, and she said, here I am going on about them, and I didn't even ask you how you're feeling, considering that body and soul is no longer in action no more, and he's not the producer. And he said he feels really sad about it because it was a passion of his, and now he's no longer the producer, so he feels bad. So she said that she is sorry to hear that, but she's also happy to spend more time with him, and they bond over that, and then they get a very unpleasant knock at the door, right? So EJ comes in, to their dismay, and he has a rose in his hand saying, I'm sorry for, just barging in on Valentine's Day. Here's a peace offering. So, of course, I'm like, really, EJ, come with one single rose thinking that you're going to, warm your way into their hearts like that. But anyways, he said that he needed to talk to her private and urgent matter. So she said, what do we have to discuss? Like, you're no longer a DA, you're no longer under my employment. So, like, what do we have to discuss? So he said, given everything that happened with Jada Hunter, I think you need to look into Belle being the DA. So she's saying, excuse me, like, I made the right choice in hiring Belle as DA, and we're going through this Jada case thoroughly without bias. So he said, are you sure about that? Are you sure that Belle is able to prosecute Jada if this thing goes to trial, right? You don't want it to be a big problem to the community and all of that. So he's making a case about it. And she said, listen, I'm not going to take anything from you. I made the right choice. You're not going to talk me out of my decision. So Abe steps in and says, like, you only came over here because it's about you to suit your agenda. It's not about nobody else or this community or whatever. And it's just like when you was running against me for mayor, and EJ said, look who's talking about making it not about themselves. So, I mean, Abe said, you know what, you have, tried to mess up our night. You need to go, right? Or don't let me throw you out. So EJ said, okay, I'm leaving. And he said, I mean, I hope you made the right decision about Bella. I'm saying, EJ, you are sleeping with Belle right now. Like, wouldn't this be disloyal? But he always gotta look out for himself, I guess. But anyways, Abe and Paulina get to talking, and Paulina's glad that Abe stand up in her honor to, like, get EJ out because he was disrupting their little time alone. So anyways, Abe and her was talking briefly about, Belle and if she made a right decision, all that. She said, I'm not going back over that because, EJ is not getting back his job ever. That's the best decision I did to fire him, right? So they continue their night together. So he goes home and he's on the phone with Kristen talking about what they're going to do with their stowaways, Ava and Rafe, right? Because he's wondering if, Kristen's mom is able to hold the two of them and how long, right? So he comes off the phone, he gets a knock at the door, and it's Belle coming in. She's angry about what happened at the bar. So she tells him that she saw Rafe, and, Rafe tried to, come on to her, and he kissed her. And of course, EJ is saying, I'm going to kill him. So Belle said, no worries, I handled it. And he said, but I'm still going to handle him. Like, I don't want nobody else kissing you and, feel a type of way about that. And she said, that's all sweet and such, but I already handled it. And, they start to kiss, and, I guess that is that, right? So we'll go over to Jada and, Rafe, which is always a pleasant encounter at this time, right? So anyway, she doesn't want to really see him, but he's saying, like, what are you doing around here? So she said, like, not that it's any of your business, right? Like, I'm staying with Stephanie until I can really get my bearings back and find a place for myself. So I said, you can always come into my comfortable bed and all that. And she said, like, I made it clear to you when I threw that ring at you yesterday, that you and I are no longer anything, right? And for one thing, like, I moved out to your place. I took all of my last belongings. I ripped up anything that was used to represent us. So he's like, you don't have to be a big, bitch. So, I mean, Jada was offended by that, and I was definitely offended by that. So she said, I didn't know that you could be more of an ass until now. So she leaves, right? So I'm saying, boy, this is definitely the opposite of Rafe, sleazy, misogynistic, and ass. Like, he is just tearing down Rafe's reputation more and more. I'm just really waiting for this storyline to wrap up and EJ and Kristen to be sought out because, regardless of Ava and whatever, like, they don't deserve to be locked away for that long. Like, they didn't do anything wrong, right? So the Demirs need to go down for this. And as for Tate, Holly and Doug, like, I'm waiting for Holly and Doug to really get together. Because Tate, again, I feel like Holly can do a lot better than Tate, and I really wish that she didn't go to bed with him, but hey, it happens, I guess. But I feel sorry for Doug and Jada, who are really losing out on Valentine's Day. But hopefully this is the last of the Valentine's Day edition for Days of Our Lives. I will see you guys tomorrow for an all new episode recap. Don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe. Comment below your thoughts on today's episode. I'll see you tomorrow.